Hey everybody, for those of you that don't know, my name's Hoopy, and today in the shop we have a Honda Rubicon 500. The customer said he thinks it's 2012. I looked on the frame up in the front, couldn't find the sticker, and he states that it wasn't running right, couldn't keep it running, and it keeps draining the battery. And I mean, the battery's so dead you can turn on the key and it doesn't do anything. This is power steering model with the GPS, little round circle thingy. So I guess we're going to tear into this and just see what we can figure out here. First things first, let's get the seat off this thing and take a look at this battery. Interesting. Well, I think there should be a spring on this seat thing. It's gone. But more concerning, not sure what that plugs into, but there ain't even an air filter on this thing. The air filter's gone. Got some oil down in there, like this thing may have been rolled over at one point. Usually whenever you roll them, the oil comes out of the vent of the crankcase and winds up in the bottom of the air box. This is, I don't know what this goes to. I'm not real sure. But however, it doesn't look like it's anything with factory wiring. At least not that I can tell, considering it runs up and around and is zip tied to the rack back here. Hopefully it's just something to do with the winch or something. So you can see where somebody's been into the carburetor before. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and try to get that battery pulled out of there so we can charge it and get that part started, and we'll go from there. And 04 of 18. Probably going to need a new battery. So I looked in this bag back here and I did find everything. Here's the air filter. It's nice and clean. Pretty good. I don't like this. So this is clearly the Warren winch controller. But they drilled holes and zip tied this to the airbox lid. I don't like that at all. If they would have used self-tappers, I'd have been happier. But the fact that they drilled holes and just put zip ties that don't seal, I don't like that. So we'll dress some of this stuff up and see what happens from there. Again, the customer said it wasn't running right, said it wouldn't idle, wouldn't run right. So I'm probably just gonna go ahead and pull this carburetor off here and we'll go through it real quick just to be safe. All right, so first thing we're gonna do on this carburetor is yank the bowl off this thing. And these are steel screws into an aluminum housing. They usually stick. I like to use my impact driver to just break them loose. Oh yeah, lovely. I don't know if you can see how green that is down in there. That's what ethanol does to carburetors. You see all this crud stuck on there? So that's why it wasn't running right. So I'm trying to get this rod that holds the float on here out. I'm going to try to get it to move here. If I can get my hands in the right spot. There it went. Yeah. Oh, look at that big green chunk of gunk right over like the main jet, it looks like. There's our float. And there's our needle seat that fell out. It looks pretty good. But I don't know if you can see down in that hole. Just all that absolute gunk down in there. Oh yeah. You can see all them holes. They're just plugged clear up with junk. Got one more to get out of there, but it's a flathead. There, it broke loose. We're good. Look at that green gunk on there. Ugh. Of course, brake clean for the wind. So, I've got to order parts for that carburetor and stuff. Figured I'd come back over here and we'd look over the rest of this bike. As you can see by the corn and the giant mouse nest, there's critters living in it, or there was at one point. I'm wondering if the majority of his issue with the battery drainage isn't in this rat's nest for the winch. And I'm kind of confused on what this box is for, unless it was for a wireless remote, but I don't see a remote with it, because this solenoid should be all you need from the switch to it. So again, I don't know what all those wires are for in this big box that's on the airbox lid. I'm confused on that. Like I said, a wireless remote would be the only thing I could think of for that. Something else that's kind of throwing me is the fact that that winch cable is just kind of hanging out there. I'm wondering if maybe that didn't have something to do with it. The winch could be shorting out and drawing power. Could be why the battery's going dead all the time. So I'm gonna go order some parts and get back on this later. Alright, it's a new day in the shop and we're back in here again on this Rubicon. We got us a 5-gallon can of non-ethanol gas. And thanks to Rocky Mountain ATV, we got us a new battery, a gallon of oil, and our carburetor parts we needed. Just want to show this. The customer gave me a gallon of oil that he had for his four-wheeler, but it's only about half full. And look at the price on that, $23.25. You ain't gonna buy it for that no more. But so we're gonna get this carburetor back together and get to the bike. All right, we got that all handled. I'm gonna see how much fuel's in this fuel tank, and I might end up emptying it out because I know I got that good non-ethanol gas to put in it. Shouldn't be too big of a pain to get it out of here. So ew. Whew. That don't even smell like gas. That's old. Real old. Plugged. And out comes our fuel tank. This thing's actually got a good bit of gas in it, but it stinks, it's nasty. So I'm gonna go dispose of the gas and we'll come back and clean this mouse nest up and go from there. We're going to put the air filter on, throw the battery in, put some gas in here, and we're gonna see if this thing's gonna run. Alright, it's a moment of truth here. Well, everything turns on. I just want to show you guys this. 158 miles. 2012 Honda Rubicon 500. 158 miles. This bike is clean. Really clean. Alright. So we're going to turn the gas on to carburetor's got gas. Pull the choke. See that spark plug? That ain't supposed to move like that. That thing is loose as hell. Alright, let's pull that out, look at it, maybe just tighten it up. Plug's a little dirty. Hey, it's got good spark. We got issues with that carburetor still. So we got the old carburetor tore back off there. Alright, need torch tip cleaners. There was our culprit. That's how she's supposed to do it. She had some gunk in her. Alright, well, we got her all back together. Let's see what happens this time. That's how she's supposed to run. Yeah, that low-speed idle jet had just a little chunk of stuff in there. Torch tip cleaners took it out. I have a couple bolts to put back in this airbox cleaner that hold it in, bolt it down. I'm going to hook the winch back up and start slapping some plastic back on here, and then we're going to take it for a test ride. Well, just a new development. That's gas running out the overflow because the float's stuck, clearly. One more try, I guess. Alright, third time's a charm, right? Turn the gas on. And see that little hose right there? It's coming down. That's your overflow hose. There ain't nothing running out of it now. So I got the floats fixed. Alright, now I'm going to put it back together and we're going for a test ride. So just a quick update. As I was putting this back together, I finally found the sticker that tells you what year this is. It's 2011. So I'm going to finish throwing it together. We're still going for a test ride. Alrighty. She's all back together. She looks pretty good. Got that winch reeled back in. She's all there. That's without the choke on. I haven't had it running since probably a half hour ago. We're good. Let's take her for a ride. Man, this is like riding a brand new Ford. Oh wait, that's pretty much it. Well, I spoke a little bit too soon, I guess. Well, I'm going to try to get this thing back to the garage and see what's going on here. So, I rode around and put a couple miles on it, and it runs fine. It just is back to the not wanting to idle. Just like that. You give it the throttle, it'll run great. I really don't want to pull this carburetor back off here. In case anybody is wondering, I really hate carburetors. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with them. I love the fact that it's something mechanical and it's simple, kind of. But I hate that they're finicky with just a little piece of dirt and everything's screwed up. So, alright, back to it. So I got that carburetor off there, and I just wanted to note that you don't have to tear everything off to do this. Half this stuff was already unbolted whenever I got the bike, and it was easier for me to take it all apart because I had to pull the gas tank. So to get the carburetor back out of here, it really wasn't a big deal. I had to pull 2 bolts out of the airbox, flip it up out of there, slide the snorkel out, and fold that up and unbolt the carburetor. I got it back over here on the bench, and I'm gonna try to keep it upright this time whenever I pull the bowl. So hopefully if there's something in there, it'll be in the bowl. Oh, and by the way, I'm working right here, and about 4 foot that away is the wood stove, and I do have a fire built right now. It just makes you feel great when you're playing with gas. I just wanted to note, where's my damn hand at? I just wanted to note that this idle jet that I unplugged a minute ago, it's got something in it again. You can't see down through it. But shove this in there real quick. Move it around, and then I can see down through there. You may not be able to on the camera, but I can. Alright, we're gonna go for it. Alright, so I got everything slapped back together here. I haven't put it fully back together. I haven't put all the pins in it and everything, but I got everything to where it needs to be to run. So we'll turn the fuel on, and fingers crossed. And that's how it's supposed to sit here and idle. Well, I'm about at my wit's end on this one, because it'll probably start running this time. Well, maybe not. Okay, sit here, run just fine. Throttle it up. Run just fine. I back it out of the garage, start out the driveway, and let off the throttle, and it'll die. It'll run like a scalded dog out the road just fine until you take your thumb off the throttle. But yet, sitting here, it's running just fine. I don't get it. I really don't. It's fine. So, after speaking with the customer, I talked to him, told him I'm fighting this thing like crazy, and he said he's fought this thing for a good while on this, and to just pull the trigger and go for a new carb. So, I'm going to order a new carburetor and pull this one off here, and that's the route we're going. Because something's up for this thing to just... I've cleaned it 3 times, turn it on, start it, it'll run fine, you go out the road for a second, and it shuts back down. So that's the route we're going. Alright, we got our new package from Rocky Mountain here, and this here's the brand new factory Honda carburetor. Let's get this sucker opened up, see what she looks like. Looky there, a complete brand new factory Honda carburetor. Alright guys, it's the next day. It's nice and sunny out, and I'm going to fire this thing up. We're going to take her for a test ride. Make sure everything's alright, good to go. Let her sit here and get warm. I'd let off the gas like this, it should spit and backfire and shut off. Ooh, it sounds bright. Okay, I'm getting really perplexed right now because it's still going with a brand new carburetor. So I'm just kind of wondering if maybe this is going to be one of those deals where I'm going to have to change the spark plug in it and it's going to solve my issue, and I'm going to be upset about that. Alright guys, so we're back on this Honda Foreman Rubicon again, and after test riding it last night and seeing that that didn't fix the issue, I did a couple things. One is today I picked up a spark plug from Honda, and this one single spark plug was $22. That's just ridiculous, but we won't get into that. Another thing, I called my buddy who used to work at the Honda shop and was telling him what's going on, and I told him I replaced the carburetor, and he asked me if I went through the reset process, which consisted of turning on the key, or well, holding both shift buttons in, turning on the key, hitting up, down, up, and holding the throttle wide open and releasing it, which is supposed to reprogram it. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that, and then I've also got to go through another set of stuff and see if it's got any codes. I got to check that first before I reset stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so the process of checking the codes, if you can see my fingers over here on the shift buttons, is push them in, turn the key on, release, press and hold. And it was supposed to start flashing the two lines, but it's not. So either there's no codes or I didn't do it right. I'll try it one more time. Nope, nothing. Alright, so to reset the thing, it's kind of the same process. Just push these in, hold it, key on, up, down, up, throttle wide open, released. I don't know if you can hear those motors and stuff working. That was supposed to reset everything. Okay, so I'm going to start the bike, warm it up, and go for a ride and see if it still does all this wacky shit. And I'll let you know from there. Real quick, I would also like to note, I'm changing these spark plugs out here. I don't know what the differences are, but this IJR7A9 is what was in the bike, and IJR6A9 is what they gave me at the Honda shop. So, we'll see. Well, so far that seemed to do the trick. I put a couple miles on it, got it warmed up, and everything's straightened out. Let off the throttle, go back on it, don't spit and putter. So, I don't know what the combination was, if it was the spark plug, or if it was for me resetting the computer, or what, but something took care of the issue. So, I'm going to chalk this one up to the win. Before I'd let off and stop here, and this thing will stall out. Not anymore. We're good to go. Chalk this here up as a win. That was good to go there. I'm going to go ahead and change the oil in this, and I'm going to let the customer know that he can have his bike back. She's ready to go. So if you guys like videos like this, go check out the rest of my channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. I just want to note this real quick. Whoever changed the oil in this last is very lucky. This oil plug didn't have any crush washers on it, and this one's got them double stacked and stuck together. Whoever did that didn't put them back where they went. You got lucky there.